Hey everybody, I am at the Ribbon Insights show. I've just done my session around UC and CC and what's going on in the market, having a bit of a lunch break, and then Tanmoy, you're on next I think. For those that don't know you, just want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I have a presentation at 1. So I'm part of a Ribbon partner. We are Technomic Systems. We are based out of Singapore, but we have a global operation in most of the countries. And we are coming from the voice background, and we are, for last few years, we are primarily working towards transforming the cloud communication, both from the enterprise as well as for the service provider.
Awesome. And so Ribbon do a lot across networking and voice. What's the piece that you're doing with Ribbon?
Okay, so Ribbon has 2 lines of business. One is the optical side of the business, which is more towards the carrier transmission. The second line of business is primarily enablement of enterprise voice, which is both for service provider as well as for the enterprise.
Yeah.
So we are coming from the enterprise side of the business, enterprise voice enablement of the business, which is coming both for service provider as well as for the enterprise. So service provider need to build up the infrastructure because now most of the voice are packet voice. These are running on SIP core,
Yeah.
and that is first part of the development. And the second part is that once the whole infrastructure is ready, now enterprise start consuming the service. So in terms of service provider monetizing, putting application on top of it, which are in the area of UCaaS and CCaaS. So customers who we anyway have to move to cloud.
Yeah.
So that's where they work with the service provider to enable it. So on the side of the enterprise side, they need to have SBCs, which is one of the key part of the solution because all the traffic coming in, they act like a gatekeeper for the traffic, and they have all the intelligent policies. And if the enterprise is large, there are multiple offices globally, they need to have these boxes overall to manage the whole network.
So a mix of carriers being ready with their core and edge boxes for customers who have hybrid.
Absolutely.
What's it like in Singapore and your local markets? How aggressively are people moving to cloud for UC and CC?
Good question. So what happened is that the cloud transformation, especially for the voice part, is quite tricky because it's just not the transforming the traffic or the application. It is more of meeting the local regulatory, telecom regulatory requirement. Second is that if you are doing contact center, you need to take care of data residency, data governance. So if this are green ticked and means you say that is this is possible by the technology and we are comply the regulation, then yes, it can be done. And the customers are so they need a trusted consultant who can walk them through all the process and make sure that the migration happens seamlessly, point number 1, so there is no downtime. Second is that when I go to the new system, day 0, day 1, I don't have issue. And the third is most important, all I'm regulatory compliance, I'm green ticked. I don't have issue with my regulatory framework. These are the main 3 areas. So customers are now really moving, and we have seen quite a huge transformation happening in the Asia Pacific overall. So they want to get rid of their old system in the backyard and move to the cloud.
And it's that regulatory challenge, helping them understand where they can go pure cloud, where they have to go hybrid, how they can migrate and be compliant. That's kind of one of the challenging areas, it sounds like.
Yes. So the key part is that in terms of most of the carrier in Asia Pacific are going for BYOC, which is bring your own carrier, because they have their carrier for all this year. They want to preserve their own number.
So even if they're moving to one of the UCaaSs, they like that carrier, they trust that carrier, they want to bring that carrier to the solution.
Absolutely, and that's where they want to implement the local gateways and SBC. That's where we are consuming a lot of Ribbon products.
Yeah.
At the same time, they also need to enable the telecom operators because they have to provide the carrier access, and they have to provide the SIP trunk, and the carrier also monetizing the SIP trunk in terms of providing additional service on top of it, which can be from Teams, Zoom, Genesys, NICE.
Are you seeing any risk with the operators if they're not ready for UCaaS in connectivity? Will customers migrate to an operator that is, or are they very wed to their operator?
No, it's operators are in a big risk because if they don't do it, somebody else will do it. I mean to say Google will do it, Microsoft will. If you are working in unregulated, where the regulatory framework is very open like Singapore, Microsoft can come and start their own number. Already we have seen Amazon has started it. So Amazon Connect as a product, it's based on that they are providing the number. You don't need a carrier at all.
Right.
You're directly billed based on the consumption. So operator, if they don't do it, they'll lose that business some point of time. And So operator realize that, so they're investing on the infrastructure, number one. Number two, they're putting effort to monetize those infrastructure.
Yep.
Number three is that where they are weak, their weak point is the application part because they don't understand. So that is where they are trying to look for ecosystem partner who can come in on board and help them to enable those customers on those cloud applications.
Awesome. Tanmoy, thanks for taking the time to share with us.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.